Hello, everyone.
That's what I do. Hello. 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 Well, let's see. Take a breath.
Okay.
Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath now. Ow.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
Welcome to the Course in Miracles. I'm EARL Purdy. I welcome you to Facebook Live, and in the room with me, alive. Even though they might be debatable.
Some of us are half.
Some of us are here, some of us. So, welcome to the Course in Miracles. Today, I'm going to do littleness versus magnitude. Littleness versus magnitude.
That's so funny.
It's on page 306 in the Course in Miracles text, if you got it. Page 306 in the Course in Miracles text. It's chapter 15, section 3, page 306, chapter 15, section 3, littleness versus magnitude. So I want to just take a minute today to let us get really centered and kind of let the world go for a minute. Just feel each other's energy. Would y'all be willing to do that?
Yeah.
Sure.
You need not believe the ideas, accept the ideas, or welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist, and some of the ideas you may find hard to believe and quite startling. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. You don't have to judge it. If you will use the ideas, it will show you that the ideas are true. If you use it, it will show you that the ideas are true. Littleness versus magnitude. It's time to make a choice. Are you going to be little? Are you going to be great?
I'm going to be great.
You going to be great?
Yeah. All of us are. I claim it for us.
You claim it for everybody?
For everybody.
Thank God. That's about the
Thank
only way we're going to make it.
That's right.
That's
We
right.
need
I'm
somebody
going to
else
lead
to
us
see
out
it
of
for
here.
us. Right? Sometimes I forget how great I am. And I used to have relationships that helped me forget how great I was. You ever had a relationship like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and you thought you was pretty cool till you hooked up with them, and then all of a sudden,
Oh, well.
hell.
you know. So, the Course in Miracles, I love the very first sentence. The very first sentence in that section says, "Be not content." Now, how many books start off and telling you, don't be content with
like
little?
that.
Yes. Say, don't be satisfied with littleness. Don't be contented with little. See, that's why I studied the Course.
Yeah.
You know, they're going on the sirens, the police, or whatever, the ambulance. Somebody had a different morning than us.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
No coffee.
At the same time. At the same time. So the Course says, be not content with littleness.
I agree.
but be sure you understand what littleness is. So first, what does it say? It says, don't be satisfied with littleness, but then it says, but first you need to know what I mean when I say, don't be satisfied with littleness. And you also need to understand why you could never be content with littleness. So it's two things. I need to understand what littleness is, and I need to be totally clear why I will never be satisfied with being little. I'll never be satisfied with being in lack. I'll never be satisfied with sickness. I'll never be satisfied with anger. I'll never be satisfied with grievances. And what littleness is my favorite definition of littleness from the Course. Littleness is the offering you give yourself. So the Course is saying, if you want to know the definition of little, it's anything you're trying to give to yourself. Wow. Anything you're coming up with, the Course says, that you think you need to give to yourself, he said, the Course says that's littleness. In other words, littleness is anything we think of. So what is littleness? Anything we think of. Any offering that we try to give to ourselves. And he says, you are offering, I love this, it says, you are offering this in the place of magnitude and you accept it. Of course, it says, read me slowly because it's funny when you read it slowly. It says, you're giving your offerings to yourself in place of magnitude. You could be having abundance and greatness and real love and expansion and eternalness and endless joy, but you're selling for what you give to yourself. Now, here's another definition of little. Everything in this world.
That's the easy one.
Yeah. Everything why? He says, because this is a world made out of littleness. He says, the Course in Miracles says the world is made from the idea of littleness, and everything comes from an idea. So, in the strange belief that littleness can content you. So the Course is saying we have the strange belief that we can be content with little. That somehow or another we're going to have less than the love we deserve, less than the peace we deserve, and we're going to be satisfied with it. People keep trying to be satisfied with the little bit they're giving to themselves.
Nice.
You just find a weak spot.
No, the whole thing, but we just sweep it. If you're a trip, I'm going to be a teacher and I go through the flow. You know what I mean? That was like he gave himself some littleness.
You're testing your
That looks
magnitude.
really little right there. Like you squeaking and squinching and going on. God almighty.
Yeah, your magnitude.
So I'm taking this slow so we can hear what it's saying. So let's look at it again. It says, first of all, I don't want y'all to be satisfied with littleness, but you need to understand what it is. Littleness is anything you offer to yourself. So let's be clear about that. Littleness is anything you offer to yourself, and you are accepting littleness rather than greatness, and you are accepting it. Everything in this world is little because this world is made out of the idea of littleness. Because you believe that having less than what you deserve can satisfy you. So you have a lot of people trying to be satisfied with less than what they deserve. I'm in a relationship where I'm experiencing a little bit of appreciation, a little bit of love. I'm on the job where I feel a little bit of satisfaction. You know, of course it says we believe that having little is satisfying. Like when I tried to have a little bit of that cheesecake. It didn't work. You know. And you all are like God's cheesecake. Y'all are really God's little cheesecake. Yummy. That's right. I can just eat all y'all. So when you strive for anything, ooh, this is deep, man. He says, when you strive for anything in this world, in the belief that it can bring you peace. When you try to get anything in this world because you believe it's going to give you peace, the Course says, woo, you are belittling yourself.
Uh-oh.
So I'm belittling myself just by wanting a little bit. Anything in this world that I believe is going to make me happy, the Course in Miracles says that is so little compared to what you deserve, that just by seeking for it, you are belittling yourself. And then the Course gives you its own definition of belittling. It says belittling is you blinding yourself to how glorious you are. So if you can't see how glorious you are, it's because you are belittling yourself by thinking you could be satisfied with less than greatness and magnitude.
Magnitude.
So there are only two things he said you can strive for: littleness or glory, which is he calls magnitude. So either you're trying to be really, really in fear or really, really in love. You're trying to be really, really into your greatness. He says that you're trying to make yourself little. Those are the only two things anyone's doing. We just got our own cute, entertaining ways of doing it. We call it our story. We all trying to do the same thing, but we just got different stories about how we're trying to do it, right? When we really think about it, either we're trying to be happy or we don't think we deserve it at some level. And so the Course says, but you're doing it in your way. So when I hear your story, I'm just hearing the way you either trying to make yourself miserable or you're trying to make yourself happy. It's too simple. It's too simple. So you will always choose one at the expense of the other. I'm always choosing love at the expense of fear, or I'm choosing fear at the expense of love. I'm choosing littleness when I could be great. I'm choosing peace or conflict. Those are the only two things that I'm always seeking, no matter how I'm seeking it, and I shouldn't ever be satisfied with less than what I deserve. So if you are not satisfied, it's because you know you're giving yourself less than you deserve. So if you're miserable and dissatisfied right now, it could be looked at in a positive way. It's just the proof that you think you deserve better than the crap you've been giving yourself.
That's right.
That's a real positive statement. I'm miserable. Yeah. Right?
Correct.
I think I deserve more than I am giving myself financially. I think I deserve more than I'm giving myself spiritually. I think I deserve more than I'm giving my. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's what unhappiness is. I'm dissatisfied because this book has told me I should be. So instead of beating yourself up for being dissatisfied, it's a positive statement.
Yes.
So if you're dissatisfied right now, it means, damn it, you think you deserve more than what you're giving yourself.
Absolutely.
It's good, isn't it?
That's good.
So before I go to the next paragraph, any comments or questions about that paragraph? It was pretty straightforward, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And don't you like that when you study the Course, what I love about it is it's hard to stay in denial and listen to the Course. That's why I think it's a challenge for people to study it. Because you find out you're just not as high as you thought you were. And sometimes the thing that makes people happy is denial. You know, I keep myself happy by being in denial about what's really going on in my experience. Yeah. So in the Course will not let you get into the denial because it's shadow work.
Yeah.
That's why the Course is a challenge. It's telling us about beliefs that we have that we don't know we have.
Yeah.
And it's hard to teach people that. It's hard enough to teach people when they think they know what you're talking about. But imagine my challenge. You know, most people know what the hell I'm talking about. And they still come back. That says a lot about how bad they want it, don't it? I don't even know why I'm here, but I'm coming back. You know. Anybody? Any comments or questions? Well, each paragraph is deeper. Everybody with me? You want to go deeper? Don't want to go back down. You know, Kathy, Trisha, all of y'all. Okay, all my mighty companions online.
Talk away online.
Yeah. Okay. Yet what you do not realize, what does do not realize mean? It means you don't know. Okay,
Oh,
so it's about to tell us what we don't realize, so we say we don't realize it, but that's what it told us. We didn't realize it. So you don't have to argue with that. I'm telling you something you don't realize, but I don't realize that. Well, that's what I'm telling you. All right? And it says, choose littleness. I love this. What you don't realize every time you choose is that your choice is your evaluation of yourself. You can tell what you think you deserve by what you choose. The kind of person you choose is what you think you deserve. The kind of job you choose is what you think you deserve. Whatever situation that you are choosing, that's the situation that is an evaluation of yourself. So you can tell what you think about yourself by what you put up with and what you want and what you choose. Out of denial again, don't get depressed. Don't get depressed. People wonder why they have unconscious resistance to this class. It's like, so what does that mean? It means if you choose littleness, you can tell because you will not have peace. So when you tell them how can you tell when you've chosen littleness? I don't have peace. I'm in conflict. I feel anger. I feel upset. So sometimes when you're upset and somebody asks you how you're doing, instead of saying I am upset, say I'm choosing littleness.
Drama. That was dramatic.
Wasn't that dramatic? I mean, in the old days when I would call it being clumsy. Now I'm dramatic. Oh God. Oh me. Did you get some idea of what you choose, how you evaluating yourself? Okay, right now I want you to ask yourself, how are you evaluating yourself in your relationships? How are you evaluating yourself financially? Are you saying you're a little person?
I just scared myself.
Are you saying you're tiny now? How many of you all know you deserve more prosperity than you're giving yourself? Anybody here just know that? That's right. See, that's positive. That's positive. You know what I'm saying? If you're scared to leave your car out there because you might come back and it's gone, that's positive. It means you know you deserve a car better than the one you got. That's why they're taking that one. So it's not just proof of your responsibility. It's proof that you think you deserve more than the car you got. So feel good about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then it says, if you take the course slowly, it's funny. I tell people that all the time. It's a joke book from God. But if you go fast, you won't see the humor in it. But it also is like being hit with a sledgehammer. At the same time, you're supposed to laugh.
Right.
That's tough.
That's tough. Because when you take it slow, you'll feel the shock, the energy behind all the words. It says words we've heard before, but you notice it's something about when the chorus says and we go, you know. And then like it says here, whatever, he says, if you choose littleness, you will not have peace. Why? Because when you choose littleness, you judge yourself unworthy of it. If I choose to be angry, I'm deciding I'm unworthy of peace. So next time if you say you're angry, and you come in, you're angry. Say, I ask you how you doing. Instead of saying you're angry, say, I feel unworthy of peace this morning. See, that would change your mind. That's so radically different than what you would normally say. It would have a big impact. You know what I'm saying? I'm choosing littleness with you right now. Instead of saying I'm mad. I'm offering you to myself. No more. I deserve better than what I'm giving myself through you. So you're not blaming the other person. You're taking responsibility, but you're also choosing out of the situation.
Yeah.
You know. Whatever you offer as a substitute for your greatness is much too poor a gift to satisfy you. Notice it's saying the same thing another way. It's just saying the same thing. Whatever you try to give yourself, and you're only going to give yourself bigness, like the president says, bigness. And bigly. I forgot about bigly. Yeah, bigly. This is very big. This is bigly stuff, y'all. Okay. All right. So whatever you offer as a substitute is much too poor a gift to satisfy you. It's essential what? It's essential that you accept the fact. What fact? And accept the fact. I want you to accept this fact I'm about to give you. I want you to be glad about it. And the fact that I'm going to give you is there is no form of littleness that can ever content you. I don't care how many different things you come up with outside yourself, in and of itself, that you think is going to make you happy, make you feel big. None of it will completely satisfy you, because the Course's definition of littleness is anything you try to give to yourself because you don't think highly enough of yourself to give yourself the greatness you deserve that only your Creator can give you. That's a mouthful, wasn't it?
Wow.
I threw it 3 times through that sentence. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
It's not that because you're seeking things that it's bad. The Course says, no, the reason why people aren't satisfied is because it's not great enough. I know it takes a minute when you really hear that, right? And then the Course in Miracles says, I love this, you are free to try as many as you wish. So you can try as many different ways to make yourself happy on your own, separate from love and separate from your Creator, as you what? Wish. I love that term, as you wish. So what do? I wish for this and I wish for that. We're getting ready to, I can't believe it, but we're very close to the wishing season.
Right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole season of wishes.
That's right.
So we're not witches, we're wishes.
We're wishing.
I practice witchcraft.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
don't we
what's
practice
going on.
witchcraft? I wish you would be like this, and I wish you would be like that.
Yeah.
Then I try to make you that way through certain spells. I'm going to withhold my love if you don't take me out to dinner. That's my spell.
Yeah.
Work my spell, you know what I'm saying? And the Course in Miracles says, but if you can try as many ways to make yourself happy without your Creator as you want to, but the only thing you'll be doing is delaying your homecoming, delaying your getting back to your state of bliss and fulfillment. So either you're in relationships and you're moving yourself towards your greatness, or you're in a relationship and you're delaying yourself. So we never are sinful, we're just delaying. And you know where you're delaying.
Oh, yeah.
It's where you're not satisfied.
Exactly.
No mystery. You know where you're delaying is where you're not satisfied. So it says, why is it that you won't be satisfied? Why is it that you're delaying your homecoming? It says, because you will only be content in magnitude. You're not going to be satisfied until you know your greatness, which the Course says is your home. Greatness is your home. Love is your home. So when it says delaying your homecoming, it's talking about delaying the awareness of your magnitude and your greatness. Because you need to live in greatness.
Yes.
That should be your natural state, is that you are magnanimous, and glorious. This book is telling us how we should be seeing each other and relating to each other. And our job in a relationship is to remind each other what I just reminded you of. Doesn't that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm feeling little and all depressed. You're supposed to remember that, oh, it's the only thing is you're trying to be satisfied with what you've offered yourself. And, you know, you'll never be satisfied with anything other than the magnitude that you deserve. And, you know, if you just delaying yourself, but that's not bad. And you are great.
Yes.
I'm going to remind you that you are great. See, I've been in relationships. And the Course is a book on how to reach enlightenment through relationships. I've been in a relationship where I felt little, and then they reminded me of more reasons that I needed to feel little than I was feeling little about. You ever had that? You know, you feeling bad about something, they say, well, you forgot what you did last week.
You're not sorry enough.
You're not sorry enough. I got a few more things I need to remind you of that you need to be feeling little about. So, any questions or comments or ahas about paragraph 2?
This, the combination of the two paragraphs together has built this magnificent gratitude in me that life is as beautiful as it is for me because I have had the pleasure of pulling people into my life who speak my magnificence. And that I so often don't see where I choose littleness for myself, but I am surrounded by people who do see my magnitude and speak to it. And I think that was the power for me here of recognizing that I'm not left in my ignorance alone.
No, it's a lot of ignorant people with you.
Right? but when I'm sitting in my ignorance,
Yes,
the universe loves me enough to send people that
Yes.
will say, stop being so stupid.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's exactly the people that's in my life. They're exactly the same way.
That's right.
I have to make myself feel little now just by me making sure I make myself feel little because I'm not getting no help from nobody I know. You know.
Right.
Megan?
I was just gonna say that I really appreciated how you said that we could reframe it and say, I don't feel like I'm worthy of peace right now because I know for me on this spiritual path that like I really call for guilt anytime I even say I'm angry because I know like I'm on this path to peace, and so when I acknowledge I'm angry, I'm this, I'm that, then a lot of times it's a judgment upon myself and it's a call for guilt. And so I'm really wanting to reframe that, and I feel like that paragraph and like what you said about reframing it as, wow, I'm really feeling unworthy of peace, like instead of answering that with anger or guilt at myself, I would answer that with like compassion and the love that situation really needs.
I believe our minds would change if we did that for a week.
Yeah.
If we just reframed instead of saying anger, saying, you know, I'm feeling a really deep call for peace right now. You know, so I'm just the same. If you're not being in denial, you actually are interpreting your emotions correctly for the first time. That's what the Course would call a correct perception of anger. Is I'm choosing littleness because of this situation that happened at work today. I really chose littleness. Oh, at work today, I know I deserve more than I was giving myself in that situation. Notice I say I deserve more than I was giving myself, because you don't want to make it, you know, that I didn't receive what everybody should be giving me. You know, it's different from I was choosing to not be satisfied today and seeing myself as little. Every time you say it that way, you're empowering yourself, even if it's something you don't like. Even if it's something you don't like, don't say somebody else is causing you to feel anything. Or in the beginning, you can say they're causing you, or you could say, right now I'm choosing littleness in this situation.
Yeah.
Because what would that do? That would remind you of your magnitude. Just by saying that, you think about your magnitude. It's a fail-safe system here. It really is. This book is magnificent.
Yeah, one of the things that I do is I counsel alcoholics, and I found myself last Thursday out at Arapahoe House, which is a detox center, and this one guy was going through how he ended up there. You know, I always ask, how do you end up here? How did you get here? And he was saying that he was on a car chase, and the cops were chasing him across, you know, vacant lots and all of this stuff. You know, almost like Dukes of Hazzard kind of thing, you know. And he goes, you know, if I gave up drinking, I think I'd really miss that. It was so exciting. And I said,
When he gave up, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna make sure it's loud enough for people to hear us watching online. When he was being chased by the cops when he still drank.
yeah.
But now that he's stopped, he misses the drama.
Yeah, he goes, I just really miss that excitement. And you know, I just said, you know, you really got to get out more. I mean, there's a lot of things I consider fun, you know, but being chased by the cop, and then going to a Rapo house and hiding out where he doesn't think they know he is, you know, so he's just going to hang out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a perfect example of
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yes.
It's just like when you're an alcoholic and you're in your cups. I mean, any little excitement, you know, is worth a lot.
Can you all relate to that though? If you've really been working on your spiritual path and you really are becoming more peaceful and things become, you'll find there's a part of you that will actually miss the drama.
Oh yeah.
It will, and you'll have the biggest temptations that'll show up to try to pull you right back into it again. But it hurts more now.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't hang in it, because you know you don't have to go through it. Where you used to think it was just a normal part of life.
Yeah.
And now we've heard something that says, well, actually, no, you could have peace constantly. But you can't give it to yourself, because everything you're going to give to yourself is ultimately not going to permanently satisfy you.
Satisfying. Yeah.
Because the Course doesn't count temporary satisfaction as real satisfaction.
No.
And it doesn't count temporary love as real love. So we're so used to temporary that the idea of permanence sounds weird to us. And the Course says that's why people are not really, don't get that excited about the idea of having eternal life, because they think they don't have it. And they don't even think it's possible to have it. So it's hard to get excited about things sometimes that you think are impossible for you. You know, Demola?
So the realization, funny, is that's the reason why it's seemingly possible to be addicted to anything in the world, because we tend to use anything to try and satisfy that connection we have with God, rather than the real connection that we should have with God.
He calls it a substitute.
Yeah, substitute.
Yeah, he calls our relationships substitutes for love. I think that's hilarious.
Like artificial sweetness.
Yeah, like artificial sweetness. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yummy.
And some Saturday nights I settle for artificial sweetness. Y'all ever been satisfied with an artificial sweetener? Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking
Many
about.
times.
That's right. So let's go to the next paragraph. Y'all still with me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know the Course in Miracles knock you out, so I just want to check in. That's why participating helps you stay alert. But you know, now there's a deep responsibility you owe yourself. So what do you owe yourself? Though there's a deep responsibility I owe myself, and a deep responsibility that you must learn to remember. What? You all have to learn to remember this deep responsibility you owe to yourself, and you need to remember it when? All the time. Okay, so I got a deep responsibility I owe myself to remember when? All the time. The lesson may seem hard at first. So the Course was straight up. Yeah, I know this is going to seem like it's hard. I'm going to tell you about this responsibility, but at first it's going to seem hard, but you will learn to love this lesson. You will learn to love this responsibility when you realize it's true. I love that. You're going to love it when you realize that what I'm telling you is true, and that what I'm telling you is actually a tribute to your power. What you're about to learn is a tribute to how powerful and how great and how magnanimous and glorious you are. But at first it's going to be hard, but in the end, you're going to feel like it's a tribute to your power. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Yeah.
So what is that? He says, well, you who have sought, and you didn't just seek it, you found littleness. You looked for crap and you found it. You have been looking for it. And I love my paraphrases. It kind of brings it home. Y'all notice that?
I'm sure that's the way Jesus meant it.
That's the way Jesus meant it, I'm sure of that. He meant to say BS, but they weren't ready for it.
That's right.
That would have been a tribute Jesus had went to the top of the mountain and said, y'all full of
Stones.
Now there would have been a reason for the stoning. Oh, Jesus said, "Hey, y'all full of." You ever want to just tell somebody that, and you just held back? You really just want to, you know. Now here you go. You ready?
Yeah.
He says, "You who have sought and found littleness, what I want you to do, remember this." Y'all notice now why I always said at the beginning of the class that the course is constantly saying what? Remember, remember. What did it say? Remember. Remember, each decision you make stems from what you think you are. So all of your choices and all of your decisions are based on what and who you think you are. If I think I deserve love, all my choices and decisions, I'm going to make those decisions based on the fact that I think I deserve love.
Yeah.
I choose you, and I decided to be in a relationship with you because of what I think I am. And if I think I am worthwhile, I'm going to choose where I'm being recognized. If I don't think I'm worthwhile, I'm going to choose where I'm not. Is that it? Okay. Then it says, if you believe the little can content you, and by, he says, what you think you are and represents the, I don't forget that part. He says, each decision you make stems from what you think you are and represents the value that you put upon yourself. Woo! I choose you based on how much value I put on myself. I choose you based on how valuable I think I am. I am choosing this based on how valuable I think I am. So someone says, make a decision to be with me, and you say, I'll get back to you on that because what I choose is going to determine how valuable I think I am, so I'm going to see if I think I'm valuable enough to have you. Not if you're valuable enough to have me.
Right.
If I'm valuable enough to choose you. We need some happy music. Hold on just a second. Years ago, happiness could be that easy. I paid a lot of money for happiness.
Yeah.
I can show you some bills.
A lot of money for little happiness.
Yeah, for little happiness. They don't even remind me that. Thank you, one of the people that helped me, right? Thank you. I feel better after that comment.
That was my sad.
But I tell you the truth, if you all are anything like me, in the beginning you thought it was going to bring you happiness,
Right.
didn't you? It wasn't like you just completely walked in there with your eyes closed. You thought it was. But now I know. Did I choose it? Is it the offering that I was giving myself? Then I know it's going to be little. So actually what would probably be best for me would probably be something I've never chosen. So it's almost like whatever I tell myself is going to make me happy, I can eliminate that.
Right.
If you want to know how to make the right choices, is anything other than what you think of. Now I'm not confused.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But think about some of your greatest joys, if you be honest, they came in ways you never expected or even thought it was going to show up.
That's true.
Thank you.
Think about it.
Yeah.
It's like if you really be honest with yourself, most of the things in your life that you've given yourself a little greatness with,
Yeah.
it seemed to happen almost like coincidental, or it happened to show up. Or when I love to read autobiographies, and when I read these stories of famous people, it's almost always they will give you a story about how they happened to be in the right place at the right time when this situation unexpectedly happened.
Yeah.
It was never, it went step 2, step 3, step 4, I ended where I wanted to be.
Right.
They always say, and I happened to be in the drugstore, and this producer was there getting some diarrhea medicine. And they happened to see me on the aisle. We had both chosen for bowel littleness. And then we started. Oprah became Oprah because she was a news anchor and they didn't think she looked the part. So they gave her a morning show that she did not want. And her friend Gail told her she could be successful in it, kind of really helped. That's why she's always been a Gail maniac, because Gail was there for her before she. And when you get rich like that, you treasure the people who were close to you before you hit it big.
Absolutely.
The ones who really value, because everybody else now kind of suspect. Just a little bit her littleness of $2.7 billion influenced their desire to hang out.
Right.
You know, even though that's little.
Yep.
Do 2.79 billion. You know, Bezos got 114 billion. Oprah is a powerful billionaire. She's only worth 2.7 billion for Oprah.
Right.
Yeah. And you think about how well you live if you just had, let's say you had $150,000 a year income that you could always count on. In terms of what you could do in the world, pretty much everything you want to do in the world you could. Anything else is just extra stuff you're coming up with.
That's great.
You know. And so you think about that, and then you think about a person that has $2,000 million.
Right.
And then you know what they want? More. That's what's so funny about it. They want more. This guy, like Bezos, he's worth $114 billion. Even after paying his wife in a divorce settlement $46 billion.
Right.
Right? And he's cutting the insurance benefits on the Amazon employees.
Yeah.
Check it out. You know, so they're choosing littleness and he's choosing littleness. Because that's little of him to be that way. And they deserve more. But if they're looking for him to take care of them, then they're making the same error too.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're on the job thinking that he's going to provide for me, then they're making the same error. If I give the glory to anything but God, I am making a mistake. Okay? So each decision you make stems from what you think you are, and every decision you make represents the value you put on yourself. Every decision you make represents the value you put on yourself. So believe the little can content you. That's limiting yourself, so you won't be satisfied. Because you believe that having a little of what you want can content you. For your function isn't little. You don't have a little function. You are not little. You have a great purpose. You have a great function. You are powerful. You are not happy right now, Earl. You're not happy right now, anyone listening to this that it relates to, because you know you deserve more than what you are giving yourself, which your mind would say you should come up with another way to give yourself more. But if you heard me correctly, that wouldn't be your approach, right, because you've already learned that whatever you offer yourself is never going to be enough. So you would be spending your time trying to understand what God's will is for you. And how to get rid of the blocks to having that gift. Because the Course in Miracles talks about the gifts of God all through the book. And a gift is different from you earning it. That's the whole nature of a gift. Is that someone gave it to you and you didn't look like you did nothing for it. But it's there and it's beautiful. And this is what the Course is saying. You got to get rid of this paying, earning system and get into the system that says you can be gifted. That's beautiful. That's what the Course is saying. You can be gifted. You don't have to work. But what it's talking about is states of mind, states of consciousness. But that's all you really want to change anyway, because your experience is a projection of your consciousness.
Yes, right.
You don't have to worry about the physical. The physical is going to change whenever you change your mind, right? But the Course in Miracles definition of change of mind is different from the world's definition of change of mind. Would you like to know what it is?
Yes.
The Course in Miracles definition of change of mind is a radical shift in your purpose. So you changed your mind when you changed your purpose.
Right.
And see, that sounds more doable. Changing my mind. Oh, that's how I'm changing my mind. I've been trying to change my mind my whole life. Ain't never been changed my mind. And then the Course says, well, the truth is your mind can't be changed. You can't change your mind. Your mind is always creating, and it will always create, and you can't change that. He says, but you can change your purpose. And if your purpose now is love, and your purpose now is magnitude, you changed your mind. So the Course in Miracles says, for your function is not little, and it's only by finding your function and fulfilling it. What do I have to do?
Find
My function, fulfill my function, and he says, and then you can escape from littleness. So how do I get out of littleness and lack and fear and grievances? I have to find my function and know that my function is satisfying. So I can't honestly say I'm fulfilling my function until I'm set. There's a satisfaction that I feel when I'm teaching that I don't feel any other time in my life, no matter what I'm doing, no matter how pleasurable it is. It does not compare to being a voice for this material. I'll never forget when I first opened this book, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
I had done so many different things, from music to theater to corporate America, you name it, and it was great. But nothing satisfied me like teaching the Course in Miracles, and that's why you can see this much enthusiasm almost 40 years later, regardless of the number of people that come to my class. You can't honestly say that you've ever come to one of my classes and seen me phone it in. Ever. Because it's part of my function. It gets me in touch with my magnitude. But it also brings up my choices for littleness. And it makes me aware of what I'm dissatisfied with, probably more than most of you. Because when you focus on love and satisfaction, everything in your mind, unlike that, comes up to be healed and released. Right? Because you can't be satisfied with anything less than your own function. And then the Course says, there is no doubt about what your function is. Don't worry about trying to figure out what your function is. Isn't that great news?
Yes.
Why? He says, because the Holy Spirit knows what your function is. Your real self, that's what the Holy Spirit is, your real self knows what you're here for.
Right.
And there's no doubt in your real self that your function is magnitude, and it's no doubt that your function is coming from God, who is magnitude. So you don't have to strive for it. You don't have to strive for your function. That sounds so good. Why don't I have to strive for this iPhone? Because I have it.
Right.
So that's why you don't need to strive for it. Because you already have a great function. And guess what? You're fulfilling it even if you don't know it. Yep. Spirit is so smart that it uses you without your knowledge so that you won't get in the way. All we do is just jam it up.
Right.
So you're helping people in ways you don't even know you're helping people, because your function comes from God, the Holy Spirit, your real self. He says, now check this out. So if you're going, I love this, if you're going to strive, if you're going to seek anything, if you're going to try to go out and get anything, he says, then all of your striving should be directed against littleness. He said, I'm proactive against my pain now. I'm proactive against my fear and anger and lack. I'm proactive against relationships that would cause me pain. Now I'm proactive against the ego. That's what it's saying. Now I'm watching my ego like a mother. You know, I'm checking out my thoughts. I'm checking out my ego. That's the same thing, because now I'm striving against littleness. And it says it right here. For it does require vigilance to protect your magnitude in this world. You got to stay conscious to still keep seeing yourself in a loving, grateful, magnanimous way in this world. To hold your magnitude in perfect awareness in a world of littleness is a task the little can't undertake. So if you were really little, you couldn't undertake this task that you have right now, recognizing your magnitude. The fact that you all are trying to know your magnitude means you don't think you're little. Little people don't strive for magnitude. They try to be content with littleness. The fact that we can't be content means that we already believe that we are great. That's why we come here. That's why we study. That's why we read. It's because we already believe we deserve more than what we've been offering to ourselves. This is good news. That's why it's depressing. Because if I'm a person trying to be satisfied with littleness, then I don't really get turned on when you're talking about my greatness, because I can give myself littleness, but I don't know how to give myself greatness. And it's hard for me to get excited about something I'm not in control of, and I'm the one that's not doing all the picking and choosing. That's why we don't get excited, I believe. Because the more you wake up in a spiritual way, the more it takes the responsibility out of your hands. That's why he was saying you have one responsibility to walk away from here today, remembering that every choice you make is an evaluation of you. So start making your choices based on what you think you are and what you think you deserve. And it says it here, yet it's asked of you to do what? To become aware of your littleness, because you're not really little, in tribute to your magnitude and not your littleness. I'm saying that you can do this because I believe you're great. If I didn't believe you were great, I wouldn't be telling you that you could do this. And yet, it is asked of you in tribute to your magnitude and not your littleness, but it's not only being asked of you. Everybody around you is also being asked to choose for their magnitude. So you got to stay conscious, but you also got to stay conscious around your friends and your relatives and everybody else, because you're not the only one who's being asked to fulfill your function of greatness. The power of God, now check this out. The power of God will support what? Every effort you make. How many efforts? Every effort you make on behalf of your own self and God's creation, which he calls God. In other words, I support you all. I will support you all if you are trying to content yourself with what you really are. See, I'll support you if what you are doing is on behalf of everyone. I'll support you if what you're doing is on behalf of the magnitude and the greatness of everyone. God is not going to support what you're trying to do just on your behalf. There's a line in the Course in Miracles, one of the Course in Miracles workbook lessons that says, God has no interest in your personal interests. And my ego did not want to hear that, right? That did not turn me on. I want to be president of my own company. You tell me God could care less about you being. That's why notice it ain't happened.
Yeah.
You notice that so many things of what you want haven't happened. Why is that? Well, one reason is because it's all about you. That doesn't have anything to do with everybody benefiting through whatever it is you're trying to do. It's you. It's your ego. Like they ask little kids now, and I hear little kids say, "What you want to be?" And they say, "Famous." And they don't realize what a meaningless goal that is.
Right.
In a sense, for what? Famous for what? That's the first thing I want to ask them. For what? Did you just want everybody to fall at your feet and not adoring you? Mm-hmm. Yes. That's exactly what I want. It's all famous. But most people who are famous, if you listen to them, they'll say that's the downside of their achievement.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That to them, they don't realize being famous is not what it's cut out to be if you're a person that wants any kind of freedom and any kind of privacy, right, which is very important to me. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm still out walking the street. Privacy. Oh God, I sometimes have to laugh at my own littleness. be named my TV show. Laugh at your littleness. Because until we laugh at it, it won't go away.
Yeah.
See, the Course says the world is going to end in laughter.
Yeah.
That I thought that was odd when I first heard it. It said, yes, it's like when you're laughing at it, the world no longer exists because the world is perceived as a place of sorrow
Right.
and littleness. So if I'm laughing at it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So laugh at your bank account.
Yeah.
Every time that statement come in, just howl and laughter. You know, laugh at your relationship. So go, I can't even believe I did that to myself. Oh my God. Have you ever had a day that was so bad you just laughed?
Yeah.
You had so many things go wrong in that day that you actually got to a point that you just went, oh, just hell. And this was even for me, this was really
Right.
creative, you know. Yeah, we've all had those times, right? So the Course in Miracles says, the power of God will support every effort you make on behalf of his dear son. If you search for the little, you deny love's power. You're denying God's power every time you search for it. And the Course defines littleness as what? Anger and guilt and grievances and separation and sickness and seeing yourself as less than great. When it says seeking for littleness. It's not talking about physical material things. Okay? The Course in Miracles says God is not willing that you be content. God is not willing that you be content with less than everything. So do you know that we were just told you will never be satisfied with having less than everything? So your desire to have everything is a good desire. So I used to think that was selfish.
Right?
I want everything. What do you want? I want everything, you know. And the Course is saying you won't be satisfied until you have everything. Love is everything. That's why we get caught up. When you hear everything, everything, every physical material thing. It's like you don't even have closet space for it. You know, once you have everything, you would just leave it where it is. Because you wouldn't wait, I'm going to get a U-Haul and take everything to my storage unit. You know what I'm saying? That's the way we would think of it. The Course said, no, you just leave it where it is and you just appreciate it.
Exactly.
I had a friend of mine that was blessed with feeling magnitude financially. And he would let me use his summer house on the lake and, you know, and I would like be first class everything and use the house when he was gone or whatever. And I had it too. But I didn't have the house note and I didn't have the utility bill and and it wasn't a big deal for him. So therefore he didn't have it either. And I didn't either. It was a win-win all the way around. If the person who can afford it has it, and the person who can't afford it has it.
Right.
See, it was gifted to me. I didn't earn. That wasn't earned. That was a gift. And the Course in Miracles is saying you can be gifted with things beyond your wildest dreams. I'm trying to get you to the point that you will value yourself enough to let yourself receive the magnitude that comes from your function. And since it's your function, it won't be a sacrifice because he's already said, how can you tell if it's your function? If it's your function, you feel satisfied. So you know right now whether or not what you're doing is really your function by just this class today. Every one of you all know now. But here's the funny thing about it. Satisfaction is a perception. So no matter what your physical situation is, you could still look at it in a way that you would feel satisfaction and you would be fulfilling your function in it.
Yes.
Ooh, which is really great. So here's the last sentence. The reason why God isn't satisfied with you having less than everything is because God can't be content without you. And you cannot be content with less than what God has given you. So something that loves you, this is funny, something that loves you is not content without you. And you won't be content with less than what they're giving you. So you can have relationships that will make you never accept anything less than that. We call it setting the bar. Have you ever had a relationship with somebody that has set the bar so high about what you think you deserve that you know you wouldn't let yourself get into anything less? That's what this book is doing. It's setting the bar so high that you'll stop trying to be content with the little things you give yourself without God. So thank you for listening to this much with me. I can tell when that was right, you know what I'm saying? I'm less able to be satisfied with little now. That's why I'm going to do the love offering.
We love magnitude.
Oh, Lord. Here you go. Thank you, baby. Thank you for sharing with me, Holy Spirit. Those of you online, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, I surely would appreciate it. And you just go to my website, earlpurdy.com, P-U-R-D-Y. Or if you got Venmo, you can use my email address, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. And I'm available for one-on-one sessions called clarity sessions that also include my knowledge of astrology and numerology for those who are open to that. And if you're not, you don't have to use it. We can still have a session together. Just go to my website. It's called Clarity Sessions. And God, I'm getting a more correct perception of my mouth. And yeah, I was really trying to convince myself I was a body the last 10 days. And you want to convince yourself you're a body, have something going with it, with your dental stuff. That's anxiety. I was like, wow. It's like, okay. But it's so funny. The whole time I was going through pain, I could not forget that it was my attempt to make myself think I was a body. It was so funny. It's like, now the truth is so much a part of me that I'll tell myself, I think I'm trying to convince myself I'm a body quicker than I say it's something that happened on the outside with the way my tooth was extracted. Right. You follow what I'm saying? Like, I'll go to the truth now quicker than I'll go to the physical thing that I would normally say is causing it.
Right.
You know, and that to me, that's a breakthrough.
Yes, it is.
You know, because my ego is only going to try to come up with something else to deceive me about me being magnanimous and great. And so I love having the same answer for whatever my ego throws up. That's easier than trying to come up with a different solution for every different situation. It's much easier to have one solution no matter what the situation is. And that's what the Course in Miracles teaches you how to do. How to see it as the same problem no matter what it's looking like to you. You think it's money, but it's you thinking you're separate from God and offering yourself something that's little. You know, you think it's your health knowledge. You thinking you're separate from God and offering yourself something little. You know, what's happening with the government right now, oh, you think that's what's happening. No, it's you thinking you're separate from God, and then as a nation, y'all choosing something little. See, the answer never shifts, right? And so that's how you start to have peace. Because it's much more peaceful to believe you got one problem than to believe you got an infinite number of them. That alone wouldn't be worth the price of admission. Just if you walked out here today and you went, I only have one problem, I can only have one problem, and it's already been solved. Then if you say it's already been solved, then the universe shows you how it was solved. You follow me? So if you go, I only had this problem and it's already been solved. But if it's already been solved, then the things would have to happen that shows me it's already been solved.
Right. Thank you.
And that's why you claim any problem you got has already been solved.
It's already been
It's
solved.
already been solved.
Thank you.
So the first part, he says, let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. And then the next lesson is, let me recognize the problem has been solved. And there's a lot of ways to look at that statement.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what 1 and 1 is, and I tell you that problem's already been solved, what? It's already been proven to be 2. So all your problems have been solved because there are already solutions for every problem you think you have. So it's already been solved. You just have to open yourself up to stop trying to give yourself, and what does that mean? It means stop believing I can recognize what truly will make me happy without my Creator. Because the gift is going to come from my Creator. And how can I tell? I'll feel satisfaction. So when you're feeling satisfied, when you're feeling content, that is your clue that you are experiencing your magnitude. That that's your natural state. That should be your natural state. So go to my website, those of you watching, and if you want to do a clarity session, it explains it, and you can book it right there online with me. And so Tuesday night, Way of Mastery on Facebook Live at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the EARL Purdy page. And Thursday night, Hardcore Course in Miracles for Course in Miracles students who are studying the Course in Miracles and really want to take advantage of my 40 years of studying this. And I'm going to tell you, it really has made such a positive change in my life that I can't even put it into words. And now I'm down to really recognizing that any upset that I have, any pain that I'm going through is a result of me hating myself. It's not a result of what anybody else is doing to me. It's me choosing for littleness about myself, because I want to see myself now. I want to learn to see myself the way the people around me see me. It's flipped. It's like everybody's seeing something in me I don't always see.
Right.
So when they say these loving things to me, I'm like going, damn, I wish I saw myself that way. But obviously I do, or I wouldn't be hearing.
That's right.
So there's a part of me that really always knows my magnitude that I'm out of touch with. And I want to get rid of any blocks that keep me from seeing the EARL you see. Just like I'll say with loving things to you, and you might have the same effect of going, well, I don't really get that. Or even think I'm insincere because what I'm saying about you is so different from how you feel about yourself. You think I'm lying. Have you ever met people like that? You compliment them, they can't take it. They can't handle it. Because they don't believe they deserve what you're telling them. So you got to be deceiving them in some way, and they actually become suspicious of you because you are being acknowledging and loving. Instead of going, all right, I really want to spend more time with you, you become the one that's the most suspect. Wow, because and I'm not going to choose you because I don't trust you because you're telling me loving things about myself, and my evaluation of myself is that I don't deserve what you are telling me, so I don't trust you. And so I'm going to get away from you, which is a blessing to you. Unless you don't love yourself enough that you chase after them to continue to tell you you are not worthy. Because you want them to do it full time, so you marry. Or you make what you call a committed relationship, but you could just as easily make a committed relationship to someone that you're recognizing your magnitude together.
Amen.
So it's okay not to be content with littleness. It's normal not to be content with littleness. And your function is satisfying, and it's going to be a gift to you. And so when you're upset, just go, ha, I'm choosing littleness here. Just give me a moment. I'm choosing littleness right now. And I'm asking for my magnitude as a gift. And you are my gift. I love you. Thank you for coming. Holy Spirit. Right. My companions online, thank you so much. Hoods are available, and enjoy this beautiful fall day here in Colorado.
Can I make a quick announcement?
Yeah, you can make, TJ want to make one quick announcement for you all.
So I have announced